Hi, this is Numeric Citizen. It's been a long time. So in today's video, let's talk about the summer 2025 Big Bang update. Let's get started. It's been quite a while since my last video about Craft, and the reason for that is very simple. The latest release of Craft has been in beta for, I think, 2 months, and I wanted to wait to see how the final release would look like so that I don't have to redo my video once the release is officially out, which is the case this week. So this is explaining why, in part, I've been waiting for to create this video. And also, I wanted to wait for something very meaningful to talk about, because I had the feeling that in the past videos I kind of made my point on many subjects or areas of craft, and I didn't feel that I was adding much value to what we already knew about craft. So now it's time to do something new, just to talk about this big release of this early summer of 2025. This beta was pretty different than previous ones because there was a group who had access only to the email to craft feature, while there was another group who had access to the new settings and the new navigation simplifications. So there was kind of different groups that were testing different things. This is at least what I'm understanding, what I saw in the last 2 months. But we're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and we've got this new release, and I think it's a pretty big release, and that's why we've been waiting for so long. I want to say that the Craft Bible is still something that is alive and well. I did write a 1,400 words report about this update, where I explain in details what it is all about, the pluses and the minuses, and the things that works great and things that works not great at all. So I'll try to summarize that in this video, but I wanted to make sure that you know that this is available to all the Craft Bible subscription, those who are subscribing to the Craft Bible subscription. So let's get started for real this time. I'm going to use the Mac version of Craft because I think it's the one that offers the best experience. The first thing I want to tackle is the simplification of the navigation in general in Craft. And I think one of the principles that the Craft team decided to focus on was that provide the least folder nodes or nodes on the left sidebar, so it appears to be more a simplified version of what it was before. So what you're seeing right now on the screen is the new release of Craft, and you've got only this top level node here where you will be able to create a new document in the unsorted folder, and then you will see those 4 nodes where you can see all your docs that you can see there, and then you can control the list, how it is displayed on the right. All these start document, all the tasks, and the daily note view, which is something that I don't really use. So this is the very basic structure of the new navigation sidebar. Of course, you can see all the document that has been shared with me, and also at the top level of the folders, there's this new unsorted documents that are sitting there. And I'll talk about that in a few moments regarding the email to craft feature, because this is where you can send any email that will get in this folder. So that's the simplification of the navigation itself. I think it's a step in the right direction, because I'm expecting that eventually, when we will be having access to tags, we might see additional folders there on the left, which will increase the number of nodes in the navigation sidebar. And this is, I think, a preemptive action to make things simpler before adding new stuff to the navigation sidebar. So that's for the simplification. And you'll see at the bottom here, there's the settings where we'll see a fully redesigned screen that can be accessed from the settings there. Or you can just click on the space name and you'll see there's a little gear icon that will appear on the left of this the space name. So it will bring you to the settings screen. Here is the space switcher. So if you want to switch to any other space, this is where you can do that. If I want to go to the playground where I keep stuff that I'm using just to play around with craft, and I can go back to my space, which is my default space in my craft environment. Now let's explore the redesign settings panel, which is accessible with this option here. If you click on the space, or the bottom if you go there. And you can also select the craft and settings. That's the third way of accessing the settings. So let's click on the space name. This is the redesign. This is the default view where the way it's organized is that since we are actually seeing this space, actually, this is the space that is selected, you are seeing the templates that are sitting in this space. And this is all the rest of the settings related to this space that is selected right now. And then after that, there is the general settings, which I would have preferred if they would use the term global settings, because it's more, I think it's more in line with the meaning of this section, which means that everything that you set here will be for everything that you do in craft. And then at the bottom is the your account settings, where anything that also applies to the way you are using craft, but also to the actual things that are part of your subscription that has been put there. You can manage your subscription, you can manage all your space, and also you can create a space from there. As you can see here, I'm still having this external location based space, which I don't really use because it's no longer actively developed, and I would suggest you that you don't use that either. This is also the rest of the settings here. You'll find the integrations where you will see the email to craft configuration options, and also the integration with Readwise, where you can import all your Readwise highlights into a collection in craft. So that's the general view of the settings. If you close that, you will come back to the previous view, and if you want to return, you click on that. The thing that I don't really like about this view is all the wasted space. I find it weird because I do use a kind of a big monitor. It's an Apple Studio display, but even on a smaller laptop, even if the screen is smaller, I think it just look a little bit weird. And I'm guessing this is something similar but less pronounced if you are using that on the iPad. And also the new thing that you can do here is to organize your templates by folders. So if you want, you can create new folders and then move around your templates in different folder. The other thing that I find weird is that I think a template is not a setting itself. And so I find it weird to find templates in the settings panel. And the same thing for published content. Those things used to be in the left navigation bar, but they removed that to make things simpler. But by doing so, I think they break the model on which those decisions were making sense. The same thing for stats, where is how many, what is the space that you're consuming in your current space. I do understand that this is something that is valid for the currently selected space. If I go in the playground, for example, the numbers will change accordingly. But I would prefer to see those things placed somewhere else because it would make more sense and you don't have to go to the settings each time you want to see those values. So that's the general overview of the redesign settings panel. Speaking of settings, now let's configure the email to craft feature, which is new in this version of Craft. What it means is that you can now send emails to your Craft environment and then process that information within your Craft space. So let's see how you configure those settings. You go in the integrations section, and from there you'll be able to configure the email to Craft feature, which when I'll click on that, the first weird thing is that it will open the browser instead of being within the Craft environment. I suspect that this is something that is temporary, and this is something that will be fully integrated within Craft in the future. And so if I click on the MySpace portion, you can enable or disable on a space-by-space basis. And when you enable that, you will get a weird email address that you cannot change. And this is the one that you will be using to forward your email to, so that it gets into the Craft environment. You set the default location where you import the email. By default, it's the unsorted folder, but you can send those to the tasks inbox where it will create a task for the email that you are sending, or it will be forwarded to the today in the daily note or for tomorrow. Personally, I prefer to use the unsorted place. And then you can allow either everybody can send email to that email address, or if you are like me, because what you see now is that the only person who can send email to this place is from my email address. So that's it. This is the security measure that you can that you have at your disposal to configure the email to Craft feature. So now it's configured. It's very simple to do. And then what I will do is I'll switch to my email environment right there, which is Fastmail. It's a web-based client. I have two newsletters that I want to send to Craft. So the first one is a newsletter from Benedict Evans, and the other one is an email from Apple, which looks like that. So you can see here, this is the email about the Worldwide Developer Conference. And then you can see that there is a lot of text. There's the headers, there's the images, different formatting. And so I'm just really curious how this will end up in Craft. So what I'm going to do is to send this email right now just by clicking send here. Boom, and then I'll do the same with this email, which again is a newsletter with a lot of text, mostly text, some callouts here, lines, and see how it goes into Craft itself. So now I'll switch back to Craft and I'll go close the settings portion here. And as you can see, there's already one email that has been received, and I'm going to wait for the other one. So while we're waiting for that, I think while we're waiting for that, I'll look at the Apple one. So I'll click on that. Oh, the other one is just processed. So as you can see, it's very simple. It's very fast. I did not cut the video recording for that, so it's live. So I'm going to look into that here. If I click on that, you will see that you can see this was my email signature and then the original message. The images are there. Some formatting has been lost, but it's mostly there. And I must say that the actual process of the data inside emails is pretty good. Sometimes you might find some weird formatting issues on the way that the information will be placed in this document, but most of the time it works pretty good. So that's for the email from Apple, and I'll get the other one, which here you can see that there's a little bit weird thing where hello developer, there's missing an R there, dig deeper. So that's maybe a bug. The other one is the newsletter from Benedict Evans. Again, it looks pretty good. Everything is there. Headers are there, the links are there. And you will see that anything related to user tracking, like JavaScripts and stuff like that, is obviously removed from that because this is really static information that you will see in this document. And then once this information is in Craft, you can do whatever you want with it. You can manipulate it, you can reference it by using a backlink. So I'm guessing that this is something pretty handy for a lot of people who are doing some research or documentation and are subscribing to newsletters and stuff like that. So I do see a good use case for that. And as you can see, since those documents are sitting in a folder, then you can move them around. You can even move them into a different space if you want. So that's pretty much what it was about the email to Craft. I'm guessing that this is the basics that are being put in place for the next step of importing data in Craft, which I'm guessing this will be a web clipper, because the process is pretty much at the base level. It probably pretty much the same, but the source is different because it will be a web page. But I think I'm expecting a similar configuration for the web clipper. Well, you will be able to decide where things should go when you are clipping an article from your favorite browser. Now let's talk about searching in Craft. Searching and finding stuff in Craft has always been a little bit tricky in the past, and this release is actually improving the search feature. But let's first recap how you can find stuff in Craft and some of the way or the limitations that we are currently having, even with this release. The first thing you have to remember, if you do a Command O on your keyboard, what you will see is a quick open box, which looks like a find stuff type of box, like Spotlight, but it's not actually exactly the same thing. But if you scroll the list here, you will see recent documents that you have in your environment. You see underneath each document title, there is a space name where you will actually see this document. So as you scroll, you might see different documents in different space. The other thing is that you can open folders. You can, as you can see, you have access to different folders, and that's pretty much it. There is nothing more that you can see. You cannot do much else. If you do some search like that, then you will see documents, more specifically, and folders. But those documents, there's a maximum. I don't exactly know what's the maximum. Maybe it's the 10 maximum where you can scroll in the list. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. So that's for the quick open box. The other thing that you can do in Craft is that if you go in a specific document like this one, if you switch to the navigation and you switch to this specific view, you can do a find within this document. And when you are doing that, you can also do a find and replace. And here, if I do a search of Apple in this document, you see all the places where the word Apple is located. So that's pretty cool. You can click on that and it will bring you exactly to the place within the document. If you put your mouse over a specific result, you won't see a overview like you do when you do on the tab at the top. Usually you won't see that. I think this is something that should be added so we have more context in the document when we are just overing the a specific search result. So that's the thing for searching things within a specific document. So that's the second way of searching for things. Now, if you want to search for the word Apple within all your space, from there, you cannot do that right now. There's a limitation, and I don't know why it is the way it is, but you have to get out of this document, go in the all docs or any of those nodes in the navigation bar, and then you will see this little loop icon for the search at the top right corner, where you can search for things, and then you can search for the word Apple. And now this is where you see the most obvious improvements. So it will search within the first document with this. This is a document that has been viewed 2 days ago and was updated 4 weeks ago and created a month ago. Is this the reason because it is put in the first place? Maybe because the next one has more result in the document itself, but it has been seen 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly what's the algorithm behind that, but it is again what it is. So if I hover the mouse over this result number, you will see the first few of those, and I have to scroll all the way down to see all those search result. I don't know if you can notice something strange here. The pop-up window is kind of narrow, and I'm lacking space to see the context of the specific finding. So that's something that should be improved upon in the future, I guess, I hope. So if I click on that, it will open the document, and then it will select the block where the word has been found. And now you have to read the whole thing to get to the point where you see the word Apple. So we're getting there. We can do that if we do a search, and then you can see, if I do that, you can see all the words Apple in this way. But if I go back here, if I go back in the doc there and I do a search again, I'll do search again. This is something that you have to look yourself. If I go back here, you will return to the search result if you want to see different peek at different places. This is something, that's the way you do that right now with this recent update. And of course, you can do that in the Alt Start document, tasks, and the calendar. In the task, let's start something. If I type the word process, which is one of the tasks sitting in this document, and let's see how it goes. So it is currently selected docs with task in it, and I do see a lot of result. But the one I was seeing before the search, I think it's this one, where if I click on that, I will see where I'm guessing that the task will be shown. If I stop that right there, I go back in the search here. I see that there is process, the ways to summarize. I'll try that again. Process, docs with this, yeah, so there's something I'm doing wrong or something that is missing, but as you can see, I'm having trouble finding this with the find feature. Maybe something can explain to me how to do that in the show note, the video description, or in the comments below, but I don't see how it goes. I'm guessing that you can do something similar in the calendar, in the daily notes, where it will locate the daily note where the document is containing the search string that you are looking for. So that's basically the improvements in search. I don't really like, again, the search result, which is very too confined. It's not practical to have that. Like this one has more than 50 result, and I have to scroll that all the way down. I mean, I'm lost for me, it's kind of a it's not the best experience. And I think that if you look around and see at other applications, that there is much better search experiences available out there. Now, one more thing that has been improved is the white page support for shared or published documents on the web. And for that, let's use the Craft Bible as an example. So here you have the Craft Bible within my Craft application. And by design, it is only using the narrow view or the narrow size, because I think it's best look this way. If I go on the web now, you will see this design like that, and you have the table of content at the top left corner. So everything is fine. So now you have a white page support. If I click on the Bible update history, you will see a full white page. And I'm so happy that we are finally having our moment, because I mean, it's 2025 and now it's cool because we have the white page format. Hey, I'm super glad it is there, and the table of contents works perfectly. And so that's why on all my page where it makes sense, I have enabled the white page support. So for those who are subscribing to the Craft Bible, and you are many of you, you will be able to enjoy your big screens and read the content right there with the white page size. One more thing, there's now a great icon collection that you can use to customize any folder in your sidebar here. So let's get the web clipping folder, for example. If I click on edit on that, you can obviously change the title or the name of the folder. The description, you can give a different description here. And then you can select one of the many icons that we've got now. And those icons are superb. They're very nice. They are covering a lot of things. I mean, and I think those icons first was introduced with the now the craft objects, which did not make the light of day, but which I think are now available under the craft collections, where you can set an icon to a specific field within your collection. And so now you have access to all those icons to configure for a specific folder. Stuff coming from elsewhere. And by the way, if you click on update here and you click on the description that you give to the folder goes right there at the top, stuff coming from elsewhere. Now, what would be nice is that any document in the in Craft would have a possibility to set an icon, header icon, just like Notion. This would be really nice. I mean, everything is there. The collection of icons is there. I think it would be pretty simple to implement, and it would be super handy, super cool if it was there. Please. That's it, guys, for today's video. I hope that you learned a few things along the way. I hope that you are subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you for being there. Don't forget to write some comments or questions in the video comments section. Again, see you guys for another one soon. Bye.